Hello everyone, welcome to a class of Adobe Premiere Pro for learning video editing. So if you're planning to learn video editing from the beginning, then you're in the right place because we'll cover in this class the basics of video editing. This is a beginner level class, so if you have no previous experience, then you can join in this class. Let's take a look what you learned from this class. Introduction to Adobe Premiere Pro, downloading free videos and source panel, creating new sequence and the timeline, using selection and the track selection tool, rolling and ripple edit in Premiere Pro, using the red stretch tool in Premiere Pro, using razor tool in ripple delete using slide tool and slip tool, transitions in Premiere Pro, understanding motion effects in Premiere Pro, animating with keyframes, using pen tool in Premiere Pro, masking in Premiere Pro, using the text tool, exporting and rendering in Premiere Pro. After completing this class, you will be able to understand the interface, import media, know the basic editing skills, apply video effects, use text and graphics, and export media. This is a project-based class, so during learning, you will have class projects. What you learned, you will be able to participate in class project, so you can do practice while you're learning. You'll have supporting resource in this class, so it will be easier for you to learn. So let's take a look what all class project we do have here. So the class project 1, adding text in Premiere Pro, and the class project 2 is adding transition between videos. So during learning, if you face any issues or if you have any question, then feel free to ask me. I'm always there for you to help you. So let's start learning Adobe Premiere Pro for video editing together. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to the first chapter of the Adobe Premiere Pro Essentials tutorial. So here I'll be introducing you guys to what Adobe Premiere Pro is, how you start on with your video editing journey, and I'll make you guys understand about the application, about the interface, how it actually looks, what does that basically mean. So in this particular first chapter, I'll be telling you guys how to start on once you are first time using this application, how to import your video, where to import, and what are different options. We'll be learning all of this in detail here in this particular class. So we are starting from the very basic, but at the end of this class, we will go to the advanced things as well. So let's start on the journey of Adobe Premiere Pro. So if you guys don't know that Adobe Premiere Pro is an application of the Adobe Creative Cloud. Okay, so this is one application which is by the Adobe. Okay, and this is basically most widely used by all the video editors to edit their video. Okay, so the first page which you all can see here on my screen, this one is basically the home page of the Adobe Premiere Pro. So as you guys can see, if you just look onto my mouse, so this is the new project, okay? So you guys just understood the basic, okay? So what is a new project? If you want to create a new set of work, okay? So that is about new project, okay? So under that, we'll be learning about timeline, we'll be learning about sequence, okay? So in one project, you can have a lot of sequence, okay? Unlimited sequence you guys can have, but a project inside a sequence, you can't have many projects, okay? So that is the difference which we'll learn later when we just go deep into that. But I'll just give you a basic idea about what it is, okay? And the next thing is open project, okay? So if you have previously worked on any project in Premiere Pro, so from here basically you guys can, if you just click on open project, okay, so it will basically take you into your PC from where you can search, okay, where have I done the work, then where I will get where I have saved my previous work, okay, you guys can do that here as well. Okay, so I'll just cancel it from here right now, and here as you guys can see, this is basically the home page, and underneath as you guys can see, I do have my recent files, okay? So the files which I have worked on before, from here, I will be able to get access to all of that over here, okay? And now if you do have any kind of new project, if you want to create a team project where you want to collab with other editors and work on a particular video, okay, you guys can do that from here, okay? And this is another thing. This from here you guys can actually open up any team project, any existing team project if you guys had any before, okay? And this one is the Open Premiere Rush project, okay? If you do have any Premiere Rush project, in that case you can come here and open that particular file, okay? So now let me just try to create a new project and let me show you guys how it will actually look, how the interface looks like, and how you will start on with your video editing journey, okay? So now if I just click on new project, here you guys can see I do have different options, okay? So here you guys can see I can just set up the name of this particular project, okay? So if I just name this project as introduction, so I'll just name this one as introduction, and from here basically you guys can actually check where do you want to save your files, okay? So from here if I come, and here you guys can see it will be saved in my OneDrive, but I want to change the location, okay? So in that case what I can do is I will come here, okay? I will go to the choose location option, and from here maybe I will come down, I will go to my desktop, and I want that each and every of my file will be saved in Adobe Premiere Pro+Resource+File, okay? So I will just select this particular folder, and all the work which I do right now or this particular project, okay? So this particular project will be saved here in my desktop, okay? In my file which I have just created. So now let's try to look around this particular page over here. So this is the edit option, export option, which we'll already have once we try to create a new project, okay? So now let's come to this point over here, okay? So here as you guys can see, new bin, okay? So I'll be explaining you guys what a bin is, okay? So if you are thinking that, okay, new bin might be, it's a recycle bin, okay? No, it's not a recycle bin, it's just a new folder, okay? So here you guys can see if all my media's right down here, okay? So if I just want to create a new sequence right now, I can actually create a new sequence directly from here as well, okay? So these are a few of the basic options. And now here you guys can see these are my home, okay? So from here I can actually, or directly I can just upload my videos, okay? Whatever videos I do have. But again, I will just come here in the sample media. So here you guys can see these are few of the sample media which you guys can also use once you're working on this video editing, okay? So here if you want to start this thing up, like if you want to put it in your favorites, you guys can do it in your favorites. Okay, if you just don't want to see it in a grid view, you guys can actually get it in a list view as well, okay? So from here, as you guys can see, I do have all of these things over here. But in a list view, there is an option from where you guys will be able to see the frame size, the frame rate. Okay, so I'll be telling you guys about the frame rate, frame size, what it is, okay? So I'll be explaining you guys all of that here in detail. Just giving you guys a preview right now. And if you do have any videos which you have worked before and now you want to search that particular video, in that case, there is a search bar over here from which you guys can actually come and just search those things out, okay? And if you just want to filter things out, okay, you guys can filter those things out. Here you guys can see the subcategories, okay? So from these subcategories, you guys can actually get those particular videos or those particular audios and also the images as well, okay? So I hope you guys just got a basic idea about what Premiere Pro is, at least basically about this page. I'm not telling not the whole Premiere Pro, we're just starting on with that, okay? So now I will just create a new project. So I will just click on create over here and it will just give me my workspace on where I will be working on. So here you guys can see I already do have a workspace. And you guys might be thinking, okay, it looks quite scary. Okay, so it might look a bit scary right now, but once we start decoding each and everything here in this particular class, that time you won't feel the same. I promise you that you guys won't feel the same, that it is quite problematic, or how I'll understand all of this. There are so many things here in this particular screen over here. Okay, so in that case, what I'll do is I will come here and I can also set up my own workspace. Okay, so let me tell you guys can always set up your own workspace over here. Okay, so see, in my workspace, okay, once I come to my windows, I need to go to my workspaces, and from my workspaces, I can actually see all my panels over here. Okay, so this is the one where I can see all the panels. And if I come to my windows again, okay, so from here, if I do come to my workspace, okay, so if I just go to editing, here you guys will be able to see that I do have this editing one over here. Okay, so now if I just go to effects control, I can go to that. And here if I come to my source one, I can come and just move this thing around here as well. Okay, so here you guys can also set up your own things right around here. Okay, you guys can actually, if you want any new tools or anything as such, okay, in that case you guys can also come to the windows, and underneath you guys can see I do have a lot of things ticked mark, and so many different things which are not ticked marked here as well. Okay, so in that case I can actually tick mark those things whatever I need. Okay, suppose if I'm working on audio, okay, now I do have finished working on my video. Now I wanna only work with my audio. In that case, what I'm going to do is I do have a different workspace only to work with my audio. Okay, that is quite cool about Premiere Pro. So for that, I will go to my windows, I'll go to workspaces, and I will come to the audio. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, I do have my audio workspace right here, where it's quite easy for me to work on the audio over here. You guys can see if I do just put up an audio just right here, you guys will be able to see that I am able to work on my audio quite easily. Okay, so we'll be learning about all of these things. Okay, so I'm just giving you guys an example. So I'll just go to the editing panel again. Okay, so this was all about the workspaces. Okay, different workspaces for your different needs. So I will start on with the editing one. Okay, but let me just tell you guys a brief about what this whole interface is about. Okay, so you guys need to get familiar with the interface. Okay, so here on the left hand side corner, as you guys can see, this is mainly called the source panel. Okay, so what do you mean by source panel? Okay, so once you import a video, okay, so once you import a video, here you will be able to view the video before bringing it to the timeline or getting a look over here. Okay, so this is the source panel, and here from here basically you guys will be able to import the media, and this is the toolbar. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with any other software which is by Adobe, like Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, okay, if you're familiar with all of that, you guys might think, okay, all those things have a lot of toolbars or a lot of tools in that. Okay, their toolbar is quite big, but here the Premiere Pro just offer a few tools. Okay, let me tell you that you don't need a lot of tools to do a great video editing in this case. Okay, so you guys need just minimal tools to work on with your video, but there are different other features which is there in this particular application. Okay, so here is the timeline. So here you guys can see till now I don't have any sequence. Okay, so if I want to put up any sequence, I can actually put up some video. Okay, before that I need to import my media. And so yeah, I hope you guys are actually understanding right now that what all panels do I have here. Okay, so these are 4 basic panels. Okay, and this is the toolbar, obviously. Okay, so here in this introductory class, okay, what I will be more focusing on is about the project window. Okay, so basically this is the project window from where you can import your media. So there are different ways of how you can actually import your media. So the one basic way is if you just double click here, it will just take you to your particular file over here. Okay, it will just take you into your system. So from there, if you do have any resource file, so from here you guys can actually get access to that. And if I just want to put this particular video into my import panel, what I'll do is I'll just select that particular file and I can just click here and it will be imported in my media. Okay, so as you guys can see, that is one way of how you can basically import. Okay, so you guys are thinking that, okay, then what is the other way? So let me tell you guys about the other way as well. So you can basically drag and drop here as well. Okay, so you guys can drag and drop. So how to do that? So if you just have this thing, or if you just come to your system directly, I will just minimize this one a little bit, go to my desktop, and after that, I will go to my resource file over here, go to the videos, which I do have here. Okay, I will just put this thing right around here. And now what I can do is I will just use my mouse to hold this one and I can just drag this one here in this particular panel. Okay, so as you guys can see, once I'm over here on my toolbar, okay, so I am not able to put this thing here. Okay, so as you guys can see, there is a red mark over there. But what if I come over here? You guys can see I do have an option for copy, and make sure that you guys don't directly put it in the timeline. Okay, make sure to do that because it will directly create a sequence for you if you do such. Okay, so here as you guys can see now, I do have here it in my media. So these are the two basic ways of how you can actually work on with this video. Okay, so here you guys can actually import your videos if you do have audio. Okay, you guys can also work on with audio. Okay, so now there are basically three ways how you can actually view your work. Okay, so the first thing is you can actually view it in a grid way. Okay, so this is in a grid view. Okay, and another way is if you just want to have a list view over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have a list view over here. So you guys can see the name of this video, and here you guys can actually see. And as you guys can see, I also do have the frame rates over here. Okay, so let me tell you guys about what frame rate basically is. Okay, suppose you do have a video of 10 seconds. Okay, so each second counts for 30 frames per second. Okay, so video is basically a continuous sequence of pictures which are being displayed in such a way that it is just pleasing to your eyes, that it's kind of moving. But when you are using a camera or any device to capture your video, in that case, what it actually does, it takes pictures in a second, like 30 pictures in a second. So 25 pictures in a second. So that what is frames per second mean. Okay, so basically the standard is 24 or 25, sometimes it's 30. Okay, for me, I like to work with 25 frames per second videos. Okay, and if you ask me, okay, I do understand that, but can I change it? Okay, yes, obviously you can change that, and it totally depends on your camera, but here you guys can change that one as well, which we'll be learning later in our class. Okay, so there we'll be learning how you can actually work on with all of this over here. Okay, so in this particular grid view or in this particular list view, what are the uses? Okay, so from here basically you guys are able to see the information about the particular video. Okay, so information about particular video, here you guys can see the frame rate is 25 frames per second. Okay, so this is the normal rate and this one is 30 frames per second. And now if I just come here on this side, okay, so this one is a 38 seconds video and this one is a 9 seconds and 10 frames video. Okay, so this ones are basically frame. Okay, so this is the media duration, as you guys can see. And if I just come here, okay, so here you guys can see a lot of information about this. Okay, so as you guys can see, but I'll directly come here. Okay, so those are not that useful, but I'll come here to this particular thing. Okay, so here you guys can see the resolution of this particular video. So it is 4096 into 2160. Okay, so this is the screen resolution of that particular video. Okay, so basically these are the screen rate. Okay, so the width is 4096 pixels, and the the height is 4096 pixels, and the width is 2160 pixels over here. And the same goes with this one. It's 3840 into 2160. This is the screen rate. Okay, so now if I just come back over here, okay, you guys can see a description, okay, the status. Okay, so you guys can actually check all of this over here. Okay, so now this is about the list view. Okay, if you do have a lot of video in this one, and now you want to search, okay, where is this particular video? In that case, you guys can actually search the name of that particular video. And what you can also do is you guys can come here and you guys can double click this one. And once you double click here, this is basically the source panel from where you guys will be able to view this particular video of what this is. And now if I just come down, if I double click on this one, here you guys will be able to see, okay, this particular video I will be working on. And about this whole panel, I'll be talking about in the next class. Okay, so I'm just making you guys understand about this project panel over here. So these are another freeform view. Okay, so this is the freeform view over here. Okay, so here you guys can see the frames and also the format. Okay, so now these videos are in MP4 format over here. Okay, and sometimes what you want to do is you are not able to see properly. Okay, in this grid view, if I want to zoom in or adjust the size of the icons, in that case, as you guys can see, I can just increase or decrease the size of the icons over here. So here, these are few of the advanced features which we'll talk in the later stages of the class. Okay, and here is also you guys can basically find. And from here, if you want to add a new item, suppose you want to add a new sequence, okay, so you guys can actually add all these things. Like if you want to add an adjustment layer, okay, you guys can do all of this over here. And this is the option for the new bin. Okay, so let me tell you guys, this is not the recycle bin you must be thinking about. Okay, so bin is basically a file. Okay, so if I just click here and if I just want to name this one, okay, so suppose I will name this one as videos. Okay, and I will just click on enter over here. And now I do have this particular video file over here. So just to make my workspace look better, okay, what I can do is I can just take this particular video and I can drag and drop here in this particular file. Okay, so I will just drag and drop here in this particular file over here. Okay, so this is the work of the videos bin. So if I just click on this one, underneath this file or inside this file, I do have both of this video which I can work on with. Okay, so this is about new bin over here. Okay, so the same way goes with the audio. If I just double click from here, okay, it will take me to my system. Okay, and now I will just go to the desktop. From here, go to my resource file. Okay, and I'll just go to the audios over here. And now if I want to place any audio, I can actually select more than one audios if I just click on control. And now if I just open this file here, you guys can see I do have all these 3 files over here. So now if I want to create a new bin, and now I will just name this one as audio. And I will just click on enter and this one is being created. What I can do is I will just take all these 3 and now I can just put this thing over here. I can just drag and drop it in my audio file. Okay, the same way I'll select here. I'll put it here in my audio. And again, I will just keep this one and keep this thing here in my audio as well. So well, this was about how you can actually create a new bin. Okay, so here you guys can see I do have this new bin over here. Okay, so now let me also tell you another thing. Now, once you're here in the icon view, okay, so now as you guys can see, I do have my 2 videos over here, and here you guys can see I do have 3 items. So now if I just click on this one, here you guys can't see that, okay, I am in this particular file. But here, I don't know, like, I am not able to see it properly. Or I don't know at which file I am right now. So take a look over here. Now it's showing me that now I am under my videos. Okay, so now if you just want to go back to your project panel again, so you just need to come here and click on this one. Okay, so again you guys can see you're back over here. Now if I just open my audio, here you guys can see I am in a new bin. Okay, and here I am in this audio file. And again, if I want to go back, then I will click on this one, and again I am back at the same place. Okay, so here are different options, the libraries, the informations, and you can add a lot of more here as well. If you want to view anything over here, suppose if you want to close this panel down, you guys can directly close this panel down over here. And suppose you want to have or just get a glimpse of the information. Okay, so just select this particular video, go to the info panel, and here you guys can see you do have the informations here as well. Okay, so these are some of the basic informations which you guys can get, and these are the effects. Okay, if I just want to close this panel, I can close this panel down. Okay, so I'll just directly come here. Okay, so we'll be learning about all of that here in our upcoming classes, how we will start working, and about these effects, transitions. We'll be learning about all of this in detail. So hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.